Is everybody in? Everybody in. Cheers, everybody. What's going on? See, we have everybody popping in chat. Skilbo. I figured I sent the link to you guys twice, Skilbo popping in.
Is everybody in?
Hi, Skilbo.
Is everybody in? What's going on, everybody?
Hi,
Dr. Nick.
In
Can I get
chat.
a hi, Dr.
Cheers,
Nick?
Captain 420. Thank you so much for popping on the show last week. Love it, man. Dude, Robert, man, Billy Strings has canceled the shows in Grand Rapids, unfortunately.
I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news when he asked me earlier.
All
three. Yeah, he's got a couple prime members of the tour organization. He didn't say immediate members of like the playing band, but parts of the band also include lighting, sound engineering, and all kinds of stuff. So a couple people are sick, and so they Billy Strings announced, and basically what he said is because those are key roles. So I'm guessing it's stuff like lighting and things like that. He doesn't want to put in substitutes. He wants to make sure that we get the show that we deserve, I guess. So that includes, for safety and for every other thing that's going on, they decided to cancel the shows. That would be 3 shows. I think it was the 29th, 30th, and the 30th, 31st, and the 1st of the year. Bring in 2022. So I'm sure they'll come back to town. They'll do another maybe 3-4 night run and GR. It was at the something 20. The something 20. The max 20 or something like that. Eagle 20. Cheers, Gone Fishing. Cheers, Delta 9. JMB Handcrafted. Woolly Wookie. I see Skilbo popping in chat there nice and early. And K Good Farms. Thank you all very much for tuning in tonight. This is Behind the Veil on Polarity Science.
Polarity Science, yeah.
First, second, third. Man, we do like to do harm reduction. We like to talk about entheogenic plants. There's you call it psychedelic or mind manifesting revolution that's sort of occurring right now. We believe that harm reduction is kind of a little bit of a necessity during these times. We got a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of bad information. There's a lot of information that just isn't there. So here we are, and we like to just kind of discuss. So cheers, everybody tuning in. I want to thank everybody over at the Michigan Bros Grow Show, which occurs on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. over the Michigan Bros Grow Show channel. It's where Abolish Mycology, formerly Abolish Farms on the Michigan Bros Grow Show site, and Skilbo pop over from. It's where we all kind of met. Those of you guys that are new to this channel, please, if you're into cannabis and other works of knowledge like that, we talk about growing cannabis as a group of professional growers, closet growers, basement growers, a little bit of everything over there.
I was an Abolish fan when I met him. I met him at Kushstock, and I was like, "Oh shit, I know who you are, man."
Like I think it was our 4th or 5th year anniversary. It was like a week ago, Skilbo, when we first met each other. Because
it's a long time, man.
It popped up in my memories, and I was like, "Damn."
Yep.
Way back.
Yeah, I really liked watching some of those videos you had back in the day, Abolish. You had some of your high times, cut recaps, and some things like some of those little walkthrough videos.
Dude, we had a really good time because he had the judges kit that one time. We got to sample all that stuff, man. Sitting on the hill there at the Speedway. Yeah, man.
I don't think I knew you guys then, and at the time.
No, that was in the very beginning. That was before we went live on this.
The algorithm and watching an Abolish Farms video. Just watching some other just Michigan-made videos. Abolish Farms video popped up randomly. The algorithm hit it. And then, of course, Michigan Bros Grow Show, his episode popped up for that. Maybe it was a cross share, something like that. And found you guys through it. Decided to bang your door down. It worked out. It worked out good because, it spawned this channel, and who knows what else it'll spawn and where we're going to go from here. So I want to thank you guys very much for coming on and, being a part of the show, and Becca as well, popping in here, doing some dabs with me. We're hanging out this evening. The topic tonight is just kind of plant medicine. There's a lot of plants a lot of medicines. Abolish was talking about one of them early in our little chat, and that's definitely one of the ones I want to get into.
Yeah.
You know, talking about well, shit, man. All plants, pretty much all life contains, they call it the spirit molecule or the God molecule, DMT,
Yeah.
dimethyltryptamine, blades of grass,
Machine elves.
you know, yeah, little bits of everything, you know, the I think that of a plant at least, and probably maybe everything living. I don't know if everything living, but maybe we can assume.
If you can consider anything a God particle, it would have to be that, man. As far as I know, it is and everything.
From what I know, in many ways. I think that the most common reason that it's considered that is because people seem to connect with something else, whether it's themselves, some kind of a divine force, or something that's truly there, maybe hidden. You know, and the other thing is that the fact that it's in everything, right? You say, you know, in a lot of different, in pretty much all religions, you know, God isn't, the spirit isn't just, you know, some external force. It's usually you are God, you know, it is within you or whatever. And within this, DMT is in everything. So in a way, if God is in everything, DMT is in everything, then they would call that the God molecule. And then, you know, coincidentally, it tends to connect people with some sort of an extra force, you know, whether it be extraterrestrial, right? Or extra divine, you know. And so I've never actually experienced this. I've experienced a trip off salvia. Captain 420 can write a few books if he gives if you give him enough DMT, he says.
Baby, you got to come back first.
Come back.
I'll be back in 10 minutes. I promise.
I've heard stories of people mainlining DMT. That one guy from the guy that turned in the old William Picard, he was known for mainlining DMT. He was on heavy doses of psychedelics. I mean, at some points, I mean, you know, traditionals like LSD and things like that, the doses become so high that I suppose you need something else. I can't imagine those types of doses, the cost of it at least. They're of a different hierarchy of consumer, though. They're more or less on the supply chain, right? So I'm sure they had enough access. With probably pure substances and things like that, they probably wouldn't have to worry about any types of cutting agents or anything like that. So when we're talking about, let's dive down the DMT rabbit hole for a minute, so to speak. But besides doses are we talking about? I've heard 50 milligrams, which would be 0.05. I don't know. Will 10 milligrams give you a microdose? Will 0.01 on a scale?
I was just reading this week that you should not try to microdose DMT. And I can't remember where or why, but that's a breadcrumb.
I find that really interesting. But I mean, as far as I know, the different forms of it, like you can be smoking it, you can be, there's like I've gotten it in pen form, and I've also seen people get it, and it almost looks like an extract form, like a crumble or something.
The crumble, I'd imagine you would be able to weigh out easier or dose. I'm so curious about
I had the powdered
vape
form
pen thing.
Is what I had.
Powdered form.
Yeah.
What color was the powder?
Yellow.
A yellow powder. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard.
The only problem that I had with it personally is because I have such fucking horrid lungs that it was very fucking hard. Very, very hard to not only not die as if it was like the dab of all dabs, but it really affects it too. Because I feel like if you can't properly hold the smoke or take the third hit or whatever it is for you, that it decreases your chances of being able to, you know, like everyone wants to know about breakthrough, you know, and not just staying in the waiting room and moving on to other things. Abolish, I know you got something to follow up with.
That's the thing, is I think a lot of it, to get that breakthrough, you got to have setting and mindset, because I've taken the 3 hits before and not gone anywhere. It just felt like a intense mushroom trip without like I've said a few times that I enjoy the medicinal side of that a little bit more than mushrooms, even though I'm like a mushroom guy. I but I'm very very naive experience on it. I'm very new to it, but everything I've done so far, I've enjoyed it, and I see the benefits of it. And I really, really want to get that article that you were just talking about with the dangers of microdosing.
I've seen it on Reddit. Damn it! Let me see.
No, is this what is this? Is it ineffectivities of microdosing, or is this dangers of microdosing?
Yeah.
I am going
This is a
to
safety-
open my Reddit and see if I can find it.
Cautionary channel, of course.
I wonder if it's because you're like you
Robert
would tap
says
your
just
dopamine
smoke it.
pretty hard.
Justin is answering to the main lining on that one.
Because microdosing would be something that you do every day, and you wouldn't want to tap your dopamine like that.
And maybe that's what it's referring to is don't
No, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
continuously use it as a regimen.
I did a search in Reddit for DMT microdose, and I didn't change any of the parameters to say that it was like recently. But 101 days ago, apparently DMT microdoses stimulate growth of brain cells by 40%, being studied for stroke treatment. Interesting.
That's very interesting. 40% is incredible.
Do I seem smarter in the
brain
last
cells.
2 months,
Um,
guys?
Well, let's not
there's
get
a
carried away.
lot.
Maybe
There's a
20%.
lot of research on DMT. They would use DMT a lot back in the 50s and 60s. They were doing a lot of the psychoactive research.
Someone else a year ago on Psychonaut said instantly pause bad trips with DMT microdoses. That's very
Pause bad trips, instantly pause bad trips with the DMT microdose. Interesting.
That's just a post. It's not science.
I
No,
could.
this isn't.
You
Well,
know,
I mean,
don't.
It kind of makes sense a little bit, because the effect
Anecdotal.
of just a one little hit of it is it's almost like it's a relief thing.
Chill me
Like,
out
just yeah, I'm like,
Like a
okay, I'm
Xanax.
good. Yeah.
Is it a
oh,
really
that's pretty
small
good.
hit, or is it like a?
Yeah, just like a regular rip you would do off a THC vape pen. Like nothing
Mhm.
special for a micro, what I would consider a micro, but I have no way to dose that.
That's what
No,
I'm
pinfall.
curious about, is what the dose would be, because let's say you can't access a pen next time and you do end up getting the crumble. Where would your, like,
It would be
in
so
theory,
hard.
from what I hear, is 50 milligrams. Like, I've only heard this, so I haven't seen this in text. I haven't seen this, like, someone was just like this was in like maybe a YouTube video or something like that. Maybe it was like Substance talking about doses. And they said something about 50 milligrams, which sounds like, I mean, that's a little amount. That sounds like enough to blast off, I'd imagine. In that case, you could get what, 20 hits off of a gram, or I don't know how it.
But you'd
how
have to
it's
know how
measured.
long to press the button for, on which temperature, as to how many
That's
hits
what I
are in
mean.
the
If
card,
it's
and
in
it
a
would be very
oil,
difficult. Yeah.
There's a much different mathematical equation. Then you're also having whatever.
But I'm wondering how you would take
Carrier
what
oil.
I had, which is the yellow powdered stuff, which that's you.
Well,
can
sounds like you
look
would probably
that up.
just use like a dab rig or something if that was the case.
Well, no. How would you turn that into a vape cartridge? Would become the question.
I'm guessing that you would.
It's
infuse it
ethanol
into
extraction.
oil,
Just they
Yeah.
just extract it just like they do cannabis.
just like cannabis. Yeah, just put it into a MTC oil or ethanol or something, and reduce it. MCT.
I know you don't want to vape MCT oil.
No, but you
What's
can
the-
definitely. It seems like it's just a standard ethanol extraction to me.
Maybe mix it with a terpene if you're not going to use MCT.
Because who doesn't want bubblegum flavored DMT, right?
Yeah, I guess if you're talking about it being super harsh, maybe that would just be a better option. Blend it with
Well, the
a little
problem that I
terpene
had is
action.
I had like an old oil
Might
pan
affect the
fucking
trip
thing.
though.
And you have to heat it up until you see it start to vaporize, and then you draw that in. The problem is it's so fucking hot. And I was going to do it. I have an extra whip for my I have a Silver Surfer vape, which is like a tabletop unit with a whip and the glass piece. And I really had thought You know, I wonder if I could just fucking vape this DMT this way, because all it is a ceramic coil that you turn on, and you've got like a rheostat, so you can make it as hot, you know, as you want. And then maybe it wouldn't be so harsh. I may have to do that for science next time.
So here's what I do know about DMT. And I've never done DMT. You know, you guys could be able to describe the effects a little bit more. But I guess if we'll go down the objective portion of DMT, we can say that DMT, in theory, well, I think is in just about everything, which does include humans. So DMT occurs naturally in us. And from what my understanding is, we release DMT when we were born in high amounts, and we release DMT in high amounts when we die. And I also hear, from my understanding, that we release DMT while we're asleep and dreaming. And DMT release may be a cause of our dream state or of our dreams. And so we naturally kind of go through these DMT trips, if you will, on a regular basis. Now, how different from your normal average night sleep dream, okay, that I normally don't have any thought about. I normally don't panic or have an anxious feeling before I go to bed because of my dreams, right? But I'd imagine I'd be pretty anxious before I took a rip off of a DMT pen. Now, how much different are these DMT dreams than just going to sleep and having dreams? What's the... Is it comparable at all?
I wouldn't really even like say it would be like a dream, because it's even more different than mushrooms. Almost feel like a spiritual thing, and then DMT almost feels like a technology or something that we're tapping into. It like you can't go in there and basically make things the way you want. Like it's ultimate truth in there. There's fractals. There's beautiful geometry I don't really understand, but it feels almost like it's something that they're to teach you, not a dream, not something spiritual or anything like that.
And Buddy Kilowatt, I believe, is bringing up the 5-MeO DMT, where he's saying that he's had DMT in a few forms where the vape pen, it's kind of like microdosing. And real blast-offs happen with toad venom. I believe that toad venom is 5-MeO. Please correct me if that's misinformation, but I believe that consider that the toad or whatever. That is not an old practice. That is a very, very new practice. You can listen to some really cool Hamilton Morris stories. He kind of has the story laid out where he kind of hunted down the person who discovered this. I don't know why he was searching with toads. He had heard some folklore or something about somebody using toads as medicine or something like that. Went on trying to figure this out and ended up finding this excretion. He ended up like using it. I don't know why he smoked it or snorted it or whatever he did with it. But basically, yeah, I mean, like the whole like old wives' tale of licking toads and stuff like that. It's not really, you don't lick toads, but you excrete a gland to the point to where you squirt out their, it's not, I don't know, maybe it's a venom or a repellent of some sort, and you let it dry, and then it crystallizes and you smoke it or you snort it, and that releases a more potent, powerful form of DMT.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's in high amounts in that particular gland in a frog. There's been reports, of no, I'm thinking of possibly adrenochrome, which might be an even worse rabbit hole to possibly go down. I don't know anything about that, but there is some truth behind the adrenochrome fable in Fear and Loathing, which would be adrenaline, where adrenaline comes from the adrenaline gland, adrenochrome, pure adrenaline. the old wives' tales that it comes from humans, but I'm pretty sure it comes from like bulls or something like that. And similarly, I think that they're talking about like a form of DMT that would potentially, you know, that would be coming from an animal, right? Now, ayahuasca contains DMT, and that primarily comes from, if I'm not mistaken, the acacia. Is it acacia bark? And
yes, acacia was the one thing that I had seen before.
The rhubark.
Well, the theory I had read one time was that the burning bush may have been DMT, which I always thought was really fucking
I always
cool.
think that too. Now forever I was like, oh, it's weed, it's cannabis. And then the more I started learning about entheogens,
wait a minute, hold on. Don't we always talk about how like the machine elves give you information and stuff? Is that what Moses seen? Did he see
the
like
tree was
bearded,
the acacia?
a bearded machine
mistaken.
elf?
I believe that
I got abolished thinking like, oh shit.
Man, I better go check the commandments real quick. Make sure I'm not fucking up.
I might be totally wrong on the acacia being the bush that had burned, but from my understanding, the acacia does grow in that area.
It's very thorny as well.
In would it be the Middle East, Egypt, and those areas. So
Lebanon, Jordan.
So you also have to take an MAOI inhibitor. Now, cannabis oil passes through the liver and becomes 11-hydroxy THC, but the acacia brew, the DMT from that is similarly not active, right? We have to dicarboxylate cannabis oil. You similarly have to provide a MAOI inhibitor.
The Mimosa hostilis.
Yeah. You have to add. Is that what it is? Mimosa hostilis bark.
It's one half
brew.
of it. It's one half of the brew.
Would be a half of this, and that is to actually allow your receptors to absorb.
So your stomach doesn't deactivate it.
Yeah. It allows your receptors to actually absorb the compound, the DMT. And so if I could ask you guys, how long does a smoked DMT session last?
15 minutes if you're lucky.
And Skilbo, in your experience?
I don't think that I broke through or anything on it. So maybe 8, 9, I don't know. You know what I should have done for science? I should have recorded that shit.
Yeah.
Maybe
there will.
Oh, if you have any of the classic Terrence McKenna glossolalia, you can have that recorded for friends and family and blooper reels and everything else.
We might have to do an in studio one night, all three of us.
I see in 10 to 15 by
Way to bring the fucking the gold coat. We can make some more commercials.
6 to 10.
Fucking have a good time.
Elite. So from my understanding, if you drink it, we're looking
it lasts
at 8
a lot
to
longer.
10 hours.
Yeah.
Similarly, somewhere like a hybrid of LSD and mushrooms, something like that. Somewhere in between those two wavelengths. Now have either of you ever tried the brew, to eat it, drink it,
No.
some sort of edible version?
Oh, but that sounds. I would be down to try that.
I'd imagine you could make some sort of edible.
Elite says
the MAOI inhibitor.
We were talking earlier, and Elite says a warm bath some DMT into vape juice and put it into a quality vape pen like smoke. He'd be cracked all night. Fun and easy, worry free. I was wondering, we talked earlier about how to try
DMT and vape juice. There you
go.
So I'd have to have 0 nicotine. I have a feeling that the nicotine would throw off my trip. They would add a stimulation to it. I'd get the racing heartbeats,
palpitations.
Yeah. I'd have to, especially because I don't smoke nicotine. I would definitely feel the nicotine. I feel.
Fazoli says you can wick it up as well. Apparently,
I put very small.
The wicking system being put to the test.
I don't know if that's responsible or not.
Maybe come back on that one.
Yeah. And then we have in chat, we had let's see, JMB, I believe it was, that said that mescaline and tequila. Mescaline Everybody's heard. I'm sure a lot of us have heard of mescaline.
Heard of, but
Kinda.
never got to try that one.
I've never tried it
That's what
either.
my parents talk about back in the day.
Cleaners,
heard about
man,
them back in the
cleaners.
day.
They got those.
Here, what is in salvia? You know, that is
Salvia divinorum.
divinorum, and
That's
there's
the plant,
a
I think.
specific molecule in salvia which is very similar to DMT. It's not DMT. I'm sure DMT may be it. I mean, if DMT is in everything green and brown, then I'd imagine that it's in
I don't
it.
think that it is. I don't think it's in everything.
Maybe
Elite says you
Becca
can
would
get
be
the
able to
vape juice
find
without
it.
nicotine in it.
I
Yeah,
know
it's
for
conservative
Solarian it
almost.
does.
that would work. No,
That's what I did,
mescaline
Bud.
was found in cactus.
Bud says the oil pipe and lighter. That's what I did, and that's where it fucking was like the burning plastic, horrible collapsing of my lungs kind of smoke from that.
See, the vape pen smells like dirty underwear, like some shit stained underwear.
Well,
when
you did say like
exhale
you
it.
like those poop terps, so I guess you're
Yeah, it's
right in
poop
there,
there, big
baby.
time, yeah.
You wouldn't believe this, but it's called salvinorum.
Salvador.
Salvinorin A. with
When
the
you did
letter
that,
A.
was that isn't that the shit that
Salvinorin.
comes in like 5x, 10x, or whatever it is, or something
Yeah,
like that?
my guess is it's a extract
You're
similar to
spraying it on something.
RSO. Yeah, my guess is it's an ethanol extract, and then that is sprayed onto leaf material, similar to the way cigarettes are made, or to the way like potpourri
Elite
or
says
something like
DMT
that.
always smells like shit. Yes.
Daddy Red says back in the day, I believe that was a mescaline experience. I love to tell that story. Actually, Daddy Red's had got a bad one for me involving a dosing. Went out to lunch, get a couple quarts of wine, quartz wine, and they get his buddy asked him if he wants to take a tab of mescaline. I guess Daddy Red said he refuses. Whether or not it's true, whether or not he refuses, either way, no, yeah, he refused, and he got back, and he said that everything was warping and wiggling, and he was on the job. He had to drive a high-low.
Ooh.
Yeah, I guess he had to go home
Rough
for the
one.
day. It felt really
Yeah,
rough,
man.
and I don't think Daddy Red's ever tried any other psychoactive substances.
That's all
since
about
then.
set and setting, Daddy Red. Come on
Yeah.
now. We've spoken about these things every show.
Terrible time. The mindset wasn't right. Wasn't ready for it. It was already telling the guy no. And the setting was absolutely off. I mean, you're talking worried about safety. You're worried
Sure.
about people. You got bosses around. You got, you're a professional. In his career, he worked for the automotive industry and worked on machines and all kinds of stuff. And I can only imagine he had a toolbox, that whole thing. And you gotta be responsible. I don't know if he went home for the day or not. I think the story went he ended up going home. Couldn't handle it.
Sometimes it's responsible to tap out.
So that one's a
Don't always
lot
have to be a
different in my
warrior.
understanding, where phenethylenes, I think the visuals on phenethylenes.
And
take
what are those,
over.
Red?
It's a different class than a tryptamine, right? We can get into that. I'd have to probably pre-game a little bit more for that type of information, but you have a couple different classes of psychedelics because of the way that they respond on dopamine, serotonin, etc.
Daddy Red says blindsided.
Blindsided. So yeah,
Shanghai.
totally dosed.
Mm.
Wasn't ready for, didn't want it. Thought it was just some
That
quartz
shit
wine.
rabbit punched him. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I bet. Right down the rabbit hole. Couldn't even imagine. It's far more visual than psilocybin and LSD. Well,
Red, do you like the
psilocybin-
visuals?
I like visuals. I don't like that dream state where I can't be social unless I am like by myself or something. That's kind of what I like. I like the kaleidoscopic. I like trails. I like that stuff.
So that's
it's
why you're
like an
more
enhancement.
the 25 kind of guy, right?
Yeah, it is because I like speckles and freckles and
Paisley, bro.
yeah. I do. And also the train of thought seems to be less intrusive. The psilocybin just has a very intrusive thought process where it just like it takes me into deep dark secrets of my mind. I can get there I in very low doses, even of 25, but that's typically if I'm not around anybody else. I like 25 for the sociability of it, for the focus enhancement, the it's more of a stimulating, it's more of I guess even a stimulant.
Yeah, well, you say that, and I have to be careful when I take my microdose of it, because it, like, a lot of times I'll take it late at night and I'll be up until like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, man.
Sure.
And that's just off of a microdose of it.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's very easy.
the pizza rolls are done.
Psilocybin is maybe popcorn. Ooh, psilocybin is much more of like a sleep aid for me. Even though I don't have an issue, if it's they always say, you know, you can almost judge the quality of 25 by whether or not you can sleep on it. I do find that to be true. You know, there's very, very racy stuff you almost really can't fall asleep, nor would you want to, because it might be exciting. But
ooh, the dreams of when you're still on and you're trying to, your body says it's time to go to sleep, like the mushroom yawns and shit. Yeah. Ooh, baby.
Yeah, yawns are a common thing. Yawns are a common thing with higher doses, and even if you're not tired, you know, that's the mushroom yawns.
That's the I don't okay. Know, get your stuff together, get DMT? Situated. This is about to begin. You know, you don't want to be horsing around and shit if you're trying to do.
For me, the come up is the worst part.
It's that nausea on that higher doses that's like until that passes. You're like,
there's that almost shift in, well, when you almost, I'll use this, when you enter behind the veil, right? You start to shift, and you're like, there's an anxiety, there's a perception shift, and I don't know what it is, because it's not like sometimes it's this gradual incline into like this little almost cartoon-esque brightened reality. I shouldn't like tease people and say cartoons, because that's not what it is. It's more of just like this brightened, enhanced, all of a sudden your mindset just changes out of nowhere. You might be having a really bad day and I'm unable to breathe and like having all this other shit going, and all of a sudden like your mindset just shifts to the point to where one of a couple of things, I mean, this is where mindset really comes into play. You either start really dwelling on shit and making it worse, or it just goes away completely. And
never, man.
A lot of times when it's the lower doses, obviously it's the microdosing that helps it just go away completely. Where setting really comes into play, those higher doses, because you might really start dwelling on some shit. And if you're going into a experience already dwelling on something, that's all you're going to be thinking about. It's really
but sometimes you can use that as an opportunity though as well.
Yes,
I've used mushrooms and kind of, I don't want to sound like this is too much woo or anything, but I've always tried to look at more of the spiritual side of the mushroom and the ability that it gives me to peel away some of the veneers of my own ego. And I don't mean like in an ego death sense. I mean in the sense of like being able to truly look at yourself and your motivations. You're the only one that knows those. You may have everybody else tricked, but when it's time to get real with yourself, sometimes the mushroom can help you get there. If you've got bad thoughts and you're going into it and this is the way it is, use that as fuel. Use that as a way for you to look at that and say, why am I so upset by this? You know, is there a silver lining? Is there another thing that I could be doing now? If there's nothing else you can be doing now, then you just got to ride it out, baby, because you can't always change shit. And if it keeps coming up and it keeps recurring, you have one of two options. You can either decide to stop using psychedelics altogether until such time as you feel more comfortable or in a better position in life. Or you can use it to just kind of say, okay, what's really going on here? You know what I mean? Like, what's the core issue of this? To be able to separate like what is a symptom and what is a cause. Because sometimes I think we get lost on those when we start trying to work with psychedelics.
So the one that really threw me was the effectiveness of helping like a physiological like ailment, like and I don't, and this is where, you know, I know that this was like a mind over matter type of a thing, right? Where someone said, why can't you just change your mind? Sometimes you just can't. Like sometimes it's so subconscious. You can, I wouldn't think about shit. I would be trying to meditate, thinking about other shit all the time. I just couldn't breathe. it was so subconscious. It was just like the way that so many stacks of pressure, just the weight of so many different things, and then it was in addition to that, the pandemic happened. And what happened was I wasn't able to breathe for like the longest time. And I would try to not think about the bad stuff. And it just wouldn't go away for months and months and months and months and months. So like the microdosing of the mushrooms physiologically was like helping. And I would notice that on like time, I would take a couple of days off, no problem. Right. No issue. I would take like, if I would go out of a rhythm where I was taking them like once a week and like really getting into like this incredible low dose scenario, I would notice like I am now, I've actually been off of, we're like dwindling supply of a lot of things, because it helps, microdose and things like that. Eventually there's two of us. We go through it. We've been through like our psilocybin long ago. We have to really restock on that and restock on everything else, because it's always different. You never want to be out of it, right? And then
it can be your buffer. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. We want to have that cushion for like a vacation or something like that for the macro. I don't like to macro at home, or I have to like go out of town, or
I'm gonna go where people don't know me if I freak the fuck out, right?
Like that.
Okay. Here comes
I like
festival, baby.
Yeah, I like to be around people, and I like to do stuff, be in public, and check stuff out. And not so much in psilocybin. Psilocybin is a little bit different, but I like nature, right? Like being nature. It's not nature here. Someone can ring the doorbell, get all weird about it.
You need a cabin in the woods, my friend.
Turn the music up too loud and the neighbors complain or some stupid shit. I don't want to have to deal with
that. You know what? So I think you really need to invest. We were talking on the other show about what you would invest in next. I think your next festival thing needs to be one of either those hanging, like the hanging tent things. It's like the hammock. You ever seen those that you string between two trees and shit? Yeah. That way nobody can disturb you when you're up.
Problem is, even at festivals, dude, I haven't done anything more than like a microdose, even at festivals. And that's
you gotta keep your wits about you, man.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you really do.
The characters afoot.
Yep, exactly. I'm
See,
more
the
or
OG
less
agrees. He's
more or less there for business. I go to festivals, make my ticket money back, and really enjoy myself. Honestly, man, I enjoy that the difficulty of lugging all my shit in, and like that, like you get. I'm only gonna be young for so much, so
globe trek, baby.
So many people that like, really have a hard time with it, and like being able to like truck all my stuff and do it. It's an experience, So I enjoy that experience right now while I'm able to do it. You get really hot, you're fucking sweating like crazy. It sucks, dude. You're pulling heavy shit sometimes uphill, and then you break down. You set up camp. And then there's a gratifying moment, you get a chance to break open a beer, hang out, and
hear some music,
kick it with some friends, and then hang out and do music thing. But then I do use it as an opportunity to like do stuff like sell art and, get my name out there and do promotions and give away hash and do stuff like that. And so there's a work to it, go around meeting people and things like that. I like to be coherent. I like a little bit of coffee, cannabis, and a microdose in the morning, and then we hit the road, but never like the macrodose thing. Somebody could start trailing me and want to jump me or something. There's a lot of,
or you can just get your anxiety really ramped up, whether it's real or not.
Yeah. Or I'm always worried about like losing who I'm with, losing Becca, losing track of her or something like that. So I start to get, I just try not to overdo it. I'm trying to stay really responsible. So it's
very you guys need a big pair of like personal mitten clips, like rather than the coat, you get a tether like they used to have for the kids.
Yeah. It was like spandex ones.
Who remembers seeing those? Cheers, Tara.
I used to have one of those. I was one of those kids tethered to my mom.
Were you tethered? You were indeed.
Yeah. Not like every day, but like probably places like I remember being tethered like at the mall and like amusement parks and shit like that. Definitely.
Dude, I can remember being at a mall with my daughter. She was probably like 14, 15 months old. And there was this other kid that was like running top speed on one of those tethers. And I was like, what the fuck am I looking at here, man? Because I've been in Germany and shit. I don't know what the hell y'all been up to back here while I've been gone, but
it's great.
The leashing of children.
Becca, you missed it. We're saying we need tethers.
Tethers?
Yeah, so we don't lose you at a festival.
I said
That's my
mitten
number one
clips.
When we're
fear.
tripping. Getting
You
lost,
guys
dude.
could
That's what
just
I mean.
decide
Do
to
you
go
guys
around
know
the
that's my
festival.
number one fear? Is
So
to
I've
get
got your
lost.
solution. You
Yeah.
guys need to get a hemp bag so that you can do like a festival sack race together. If you put
I
one
like
leg in each one in
Tie
the
your legs
sack,
together.
and you guys just got to hop around, like you'll be with the music, time it out. I mean, we could make this
Daddy
work.
Red says, got to stay in control. And that's my thing.
Gotta
That's,
stay in
I always agree with
control.
that.
That's a hard thing to do with psychedelics. Is
My
if
mom
you go
just
into it
messaged
with
me,
a
said I was never on a leash. I swear I remember being on a leash.
she will not be raked and heckled from.
Swear I remember it.
Sorry,
At
Mama
least
Red.
at
I
least at like Disney
apologize.
or some amusement park or some shit like that. They're both listening to this.
I'm
That's
still all about the
hilarious.
sack race, man. We can solve this.
I
And you guys
I still
will-
agree with the sack race. I agree with the tying the ankles together. We can
Mhm.
figure that. That would
It's
just
called
be
a
fun.
three-legged race. Yeah.
That would just be a fun day. The psychedelics and tied to somebody would be incredibly amusing.
Just
My mom
realize you'll
says
only
never.
have
I
one
swear,
pocket.
it was one of those colorful ones. It was like yellow, blue, and red.
That's where the name comes from.
Mom said she thinks it's that she didn't do
Red
it.
Leash
So,
Farms.
Red leash.
Goes deep.
That's where the
Red
dog
Tether
comes from.
Farms.
Red Tether.
Red Tether, Yellow
Mom
Tether.
says no way, never. Never, never, never. Her wildest dreams would she believe that her best son would need a tether. So I guess not. Maybe I
You know
didn't.
what?
Maybe I
I
thought
do want to take a second. And
maybe
I
it was a
wanna give
friend of mine.
Let me give
Maybe
a
I had
shout
an out
out
of control friend.
to both Daddy Red and Mama Red. They're always a good sport, man.
There's gonna be memes all over Instagram tomorrow of Red on leashes.
That'd be
I can see
great.
it now. Dominatrix got him on a
Like
leash.
their
Oh,
suits and
please.
shit. Yeah.
Red leash, please. Red leash.
Wheatus says, have
Nut
a plan in
tree,
place,
cheers.
Becca. If
Dags,
separated,
Keizu.
seek the highest point and have Red watch for you high up. Seek the high ground, Becca. Seek the high ground.
My mom says maybe I was high. No, I remember this from being a little kid.
That's
So somebody else would have been getting me high if that was the case. Or it had to have been a friend. Like it had to have just been a friend's parents that had their kid.
Somebody
on
leashed
a
you up,
tether.
right?
Maybe I thought it was funny. Or
He was
Maybe
broken
I
like
just
a horse.
Shit got weird in his 20s. He repressed it.
Take the higher dose, Red. Let's get to the bottom of this.
This is a repressed memory from my late 20s. That's what it was.
That one time, that one place.
That's funny. Tara, we got Tara, Goddess,
Tara
Family
and
Farm,
Nuttree are home.
Keizu kicking it.
Wow, up late. Yeah, what's up, Tara?
Keizu, man. I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show. We did announce.
He posted about it.
I
Did
know,
Billy.
yeah. And if
Yeah.
you saw Billy Strings posting, I canceled those shows in GR.
No, Keizu posted about it.
Oh, Keizu posted about it. Okay, you know about it.
Oh yeah.
Stormy Cromer will be at the Blind Pig. Maybe that's what I had. Okay, so I had Stormy Cromer's shows and Billy Strings dates mixed up. Maybe that's why. I guess Billy Strings was probably the first, second, and the third. Stormy Cromer is the 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st or some shit. Like they're doing like a 3 or 4. They're definitely doing a 3-night run. 28th, 20,
I
or
found a
29th,
new-
30th, and 31st. Blind
I found a new like psychedelic jam band that's
Who's
not
that?
new, it's just new to me. Is Electric Octopus. Have you heard them before?
I think I've heard of them. I don't think I've seen them. I think I've heard them.
YouTube with the recommendations hit me with it, and it was
Electric
like
Octopus, guys.
one album, and it's like 3 hours and 11 minutes long. So imagine like your jam bands, not like the Southern 70s style, but more of the new style kind, and then have it completely all just jams and no lyrics whatsoever on any of it. It's pretty good.
Daddy Red says never on a leash.
Red's never on a leash, but in
But in
eyesight, you
Gotta
gotta keep
keep
an eye
me
on
in
that
eyesight.
boy.
Climbing trees,
Damn
and all
it,
kinds of
Red!
stuff.
What are you doing?
I was very mischievous. Get into things. My mom always says I'm a good kid, so I'm always just.
You had her
bullshit
snow
with
job,
that,
but
I
Daddy
suppose.
Red, he knew what was up.
Yeah, he knew it was up.
The Maltese Falcon.
I got in trouble a couple times. I had a couple bad ones. I don't know.
I can hear them tip tapping through the house.
Those are actually gnomes. They're clog dancing.
Clog dancing.
Yeah, the clog dancing gnomes. So
I have a horrible picture of Dog with like the little kerchief and the the yellow Wendy's curls coming out. Wait, fun fact. I think those shoes, I think they're called Sabots. Sabots. Let's see if my high ass got it right.
They're in there stealing our Christmas snacks. Here,
come on.
They're doing a jig.
He's so loud.
I know. He's just got his nails cut. Well, it's been a couple months, I guess. So got to put the damn dog to sedate him, clip his nails. Not good. So we have some mescaline comes from cactus, right?
I'm so good. Oh, it's gonna block it out. Sabots, yeah, man.
If we get back the wooden croc, it's wooden Crocs, people. Yeah, wooden Crocs
with a little kick up in the front, man.
Yeah. They're actually Croc brand Sabots.
I think he went downstairs.
Yeah, and this is gonna be his like
seize him, my pretty. Seize him.
2 hours. He's officially just trolling us. That's all he does.
I mean, he can't sneak around too much in that house. He's got those burglar alarms on his feet.
Yeah,
Exactly. Now he's barking at you. He's probably at the door downstairs.
Fortunately,
the sliding door. Yeah,
it's all just carpet. You have I guess it's been an hour. It has. It's only been an hour.
He said, "Take me out to the ball game. Buy me some peanuts and crackers."
Why does he have to go out? He hasn't had anything.
I don't know. He's just gonna yell at you
because you haven't paid any attention to him.
He feels left out. I think he wants to join the show.
Here, honestly, it'll be fine. Get him up here.
He wants to join the show, right?
He does. He does.
No, he wants food or attention.
He definitely wants attention. That's his main thing. He's seeing him at lock-in. If you're talking about Stormy Cromer, they were at summer camp this past year, but not lock-in. They may have actually, you know what? If you saw them in the campground, I'm pretty sure they may have done some stuff in the campground just off site. Well, not off site, but like off schedule. But I know they've done that stuff at summer camp too. I'm replying to Bud E Kilowatt, who's asking if they are who he thinks they are, who they think they are. They've seen him at Lock-In. But Lock-In's a music festival in, I believe, Virginia or West Virginia or something like that. That's a big Deadhead Fest. That's a big one. Sounds like this year summer camp's gonna be a big Deadhead Fest. They got Allman Betts band playing, which is gonna be Allman Brothers fans gonna be there.
Dickie Betts?
Possibly.
I mean, they're saying the Betts part. It's got to be.
That's what I'm thinking that is, or it's his old band. But like, it's gonna be the Dickie Betts and O'Teal's in that band, and I think Warren Haynes might be in that band. Oh my God, man, Robert Bandula would probably catch that one. At least correct me if I'm wrong with that one. The Dead, who is it? Joe Russo's Almost Dead is going to be playing, which is an excellent Grateful Dead cover band. The family definitely falls around that one. So we're going to have jam band, fam all over the place. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to summer camp, man, because that's Memorial Day weekend, and that's a very difficult weekend to get out of town for me.
Dead and Company 2022. Talk it into existence.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to happen. Yeah, we'll do that one. Hopefully they'll come back to Clarkston again. If they're in Detroit, and I'll go. Maybe they'll go.
Yeah, I would much rather see him at Pine Knob.
Me too, man. Me too. Supposedly they're building a new amphitheater in Grand Rapids, and maybe that'll be another spot for some outdoor amphitheater.
I've never fucking been over that far, which really shames me geographically. Yeah.
Kzu, what spots you guys got over on the west side of the state for music? We have Pine Knob, or some know it as DTE here.
Yeah, Pine Knob, baby.
Clarkston. Actually, that whole area is kind of hot because you have Meadowbrook, DTE, and
used to be the Palace. Used to be over there.
Other one also that's over there. There's Freedom Hill, and then the Palace and the Silver Dome too. We had back in the day. We also had the Silver Dome.
Silver Dome. And the Palace was back there too.
Palace was tucked back there. Yeah. So the Palace and all of that was within
Deb Time, some promo points from Dank Van Dam.
There's a few up there. I like seeing stuff. Abolish, how about you, man? Have you seen any concerts at any of those outdoor venues up on the east side over there, like in Meadowbrook or Freedom Hills, a little smaller?
Mostly, was it DTE? And then
Mostly DTE.
what was it? The
What'd you see
I
there?
think,
Some Ozfest shit.
man, I've not been to concerts in years. I think the last one I went and seen was Godsmack, so that was probably 8-9 years ago.
No, we're gonna have to get you to one of these jam
I'm
bands.
I think you would really, really, really like it, man.
Yeah, you really would.
I'm definitely down.
The vibe is great.
It really is, man. It's a completely different vibe, dude. It's very, very kind people. It's very cool, very happy people. Some people are freaking out, but mostly happy people.
That's one thing I've been trying to get back into is just expanding my musical horizons and whatnot. Oh, since I started basically mushrooms or healing myself with psychedelics and whatnot, it's brought that back into my life. Like I was a musician for 15 years. Like I played classical cornet, trumpet, baritone, all kinds of
with
shit,
the cornet.
Great polarity comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Casey says he
with
saw
Jim Cornette.
He says he saw Kid Rock at the Wings Stadium. And that's
funny. The JLA, the Joe Louis Arena.
Because Joe Louis Arena, that was downtown Detroit. And Kid Rock's known for doing like multiple day shows. Kid Rock's also known for bringing a very specific type of crowd, and going to a Kid Rock concert was a complete, like a polar opposite, if I could use the show coin as a pun here, complete polarity turn, complete polar opposite of Jam Band Fest, where you got angry people, boozed up, probably limited number of people like actually smoke weed. Like I was smoking weed at the show, but it wasn't like as like there was a few, but not like Jam Band Fest or somewhere. It's just everywhere. Way more of like an alcohol type of a crowd. And there, it was a little bit different. It was a much different scene. Yeah. Different, even like the colors were a lot different. It was a lot more of everybody was like kind of wearing black, stuff like that, which is fine. Yeah,
you were a goth kid.
I wear black when I go out. No, it was at a Kid Rock concert. It wasn't anything different. It was just more like of a biker crowd, it was much different than I just mean like there was a lot of leather and shit like that, if you will.
That's how much cannabis I smoke, man. I actually did. I seen Kid Rock like 2-3 years ago. Now that you're talking about it.
Yeah.
I've seen a few different
all kinds of shows. Yeah. Tom Petty. I've seen a little Tom Petty. I see Tom Petty in chat. Yeah. Saw Tom Petty at Palace, actually, up in the nosebleeds, like 3 rows from the back, dude. So high up in the Palace.
JMB says I seen Pantera before Dimebag died. I seen Pantera fucking with Danzig and Suicidal Tendencies at Harpo's in Detroit. That was when like Pantera's first album was like either not out or like just came out and really was just trying to get on the road and get their name out there. Everybody went to see like Suicidal.
Mosh pits. Dude, I jumped in a mosh pit. I see KZ talking about
all caught in the mosh. Who's out there?
I was 13 years old when I jumped in a mosh pit. And I was like, I don't know what I'm in for with this
DRI, shit. By the way.
And somebody threw me up on top of the crowd. And I was like,
missiles.
And I started crowd surfing.
No, that's
I was like, oh, okay. Crowd surfing's cool. And then I kind of got dropped a little bit, and that wasn't cool. Crowd surfing became instantly uncool. And so I didn't want to crowd surf much anymore. And then somebody else just threw me up. Well, dude, I was the 13-year-old kid at the punk show and shit, so everybody just kept throwing me up on top of the crowd. So all of a sudden they toss you to the front of the stage, I'm like in the middle of the crowd. They end up all the way to the front, which is cool. I'm on the rail, but nope. He sends me the bouncers. You end up getting pinned between the rail and the stage, and the bouncers send you
around the corner.
Around. Yeah. And then you're stuck going all the way around. If you've ever been crowd surfing or anything, you don't know where your friends are. Good luck finding them after that, because you're gone. You're miles away from them.
Remember where the car is. Or get out the door first.
Yep,
and hope they didn't go out the other exit. Yeah.
Somehow, some way, I made my way back to them. I don't know how I did it. I'm getting right back in the middle. They all ended up going back to the back of the crowd. This was like a standing room only. You know, this is one of those like Warped Tour events or something. But back when it was like a little more punk, it was 99. I guess it was never really punk, but it was more pop than anything. It was always owned by Vans and stuff. It was like 98, 99. And they had a few other
Warped
bands.
Tour.
Yeah, it was cool because they had like BMX, rollerblading, and at the time rollerblading, you know, skateboarding. They'd bring big half pipe, and they had like a little street course. They'd have a little flatland section, bikes and skateboarders out there doing flatland. They'd have pros there, you know. I don't think anybody big like Tony Hawk was ever there, but it was Rick. I know I met Rick Thorne. He was a BMX rider. I got his autograph somewhere, poster and shit. And yes, dude, they try stealing your shoes off your feet. Make sure you have your wallet tucked up too. I'm lucky I got out of that.
Gotta have that fanny pack, man.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I decided to go to the Warped Tour at 13. Got purple hair, all kinds of shit. That was one of the first times
Purple
actually.
Farm.
We're like heading out. My whole mission there. This was the first time I saw like bongs and stuff being sold openly. I was like, whoa, they're just selling this stuff like just the booths, you know, they're just headshot booths everywhere. Blew my mind. This was like the first time I had been around any type of like a jam culture, like seen like dreadheads anywhere, like smelled patchouli and shit. And it was just completely new for me, you know. I was a young buck, man. I was pretty young and out with my friends, and it was cool because like we went with my buddy's mom, like took us there and dropped us off. So there was like just us kids, you know, no adult supervision. Like, and we didn't like smoke weed there or anything like that. We were terrified to get in trouble. But on the way out, this dude, you know, the one thing you do, you know, don't get called over some dude's car and buy weed off him. But I was kind of looking for a sack, and this dude was like, "Hey kid, you want some weed?" And I like kind of ran over and I was like, "Well, I don't know." And he was like, $30. And it was like probably a half ounce, you know, it was a solid. He was just like getting rid of the rest of the sack. And it wasn't that bad had some seeds. It was regs, you know, at the time it was called like 1998, 99 or something like that.
Yeah, you can't complain too much.
It was a solid sack of weed. And I got a ton of huge doobies out of that thing, man. All got flushed down the toilet.
Purple hair, purple bick. Did you or did you not have a purple pipe or a purple bong at some point?
I don't know. I got a purple glass.
I'm going to call you fucking Prince Rogers in a minute there. Purple Rain.
Steamroller.
There's that's Becca's. That's not mine. Whoa, that was
the OG.
Oh my goodness.
The that grass I kept in a radio.
That grass.
Uh-huh.
That's how long ago he's reverting back to the super old terminology now. Hey man, can I get
that
a
bag, dude? It was probably some of the best
lid,
weed
man.
from that time. I got that shit. It was some dude probably from out of state, you know, bringing up. It smelled great, dude. It was green. It was like the first time I had like green weed. You know, it was super cheap, dude. It was like $30, and it wasn't even my money. Well, it was $10 was from me. A couple other dudes threw in 10 and 10, and I broke them off like a 10 bag. And that was like the first time that I walked away with like for $10, I had a sack of weed, dude. And I think that was like the first time I actually realized the value of like buying in bulk or something like that. To me, that was like the first time I'd actually bought like a half ounce or whatever it was that he sold me. And it was a cool sack, dude. It got stored in the battery compartment of a radio until I decided to break it all out one day when I had a couple friends over. Look how much weed I got, guys. So break this out into some joints. Right as mom's pulling in the driveway, Mama Red, I hope you're still listening to this one. She probably remembers this one still.
Dude, read
She comes in the house. She comes running down the stairs. My friends are like fucking roaches with the lights turn on. They scatter. You know, I'm like deer in headlights staring at her like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I'm like kind of covering it. What are you doing? Oh, nothing. Why does it smell so weird? Oh, I don't know. You know, blah, 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 blah. She sees it and freaks. Makes me dump it. Mama Red.
F in the chat.
I told her I dumped it all. I kind of scooped a little bit off to the side, enough for like a joint left over. We had a roach. We had like a half a joint or something hidden.
Throwing Mama Red
Mama
under the
Red
bus
dumped
tonight.
all my
It's
weed.
her night, isn't it?
Flushing her weed.
Dumped all the weed. Mama Red maybe dumped.
He's just
the
trying to
weed.
detract from that comment by Kazu.
She's gonna respond and say that never happened, and you're gonna give me another false memory warning here. I swear that one happened.
I swear I remember that one.
I swear I remember that one. That was the one time I had to dump. I had to flush anything. I'm sure she remembers that one.
I've
That
never
was a good
fucking,
read too, man.
I
was
always
young. I was
kept it
only
in my
13. I don't
toolbox,
blame her.
man. When I was a kid, I kept
She
it
was
in
a
my
good mom.
toolbox.
I would have made my kid flush that shit too. No, I would have taken that shit from my kid. Forget that. I'm not flushing it. I guess it depends.
Unless it's trash.
Should we hit it with a testing reagent? Might have to hit it with a testing reagent, not knowing
We're
where
only
the
in
kid's getting
trouble
it
if
from.
it's mids.
I guess so. Might try to
That's what I'm saying.
pop some of the seeds, depending on where it came from.
So whose purple bong is that?
Where you
Becca?
see purple bong up top back here?
No, Becca, will you admit that was your purple bong? See, DOG's bringing us back to it again,
What
Kazu.
purple bong? This glass?
Yeah,
This cup of water?
yeah, there you go.
That's Becca's.
This is
cup.
mine. Yeah, this
See,
is thrifted.
okay.
I have a purple
Not a
skull.
glass, that's a goblet.
Yeah, they're so much
chalice.
fun.
Oh, shit. My mom just texted me.
Oh, she's got you again, bro. She's up in
Oh,
you
purple skull.
quick. Oh,
I
that's
really
dope.
like that one.
That
Was that
actually
from
holds a-
something else, or did you just buy it like that? Was it a
Dude,
jar?
this is a like Michael's find, believe it or not, but it
Michael's.
actually holds a pint jar top. Like it actually holds a 4, 8, and 12-ounce jar top.
Cool.
He is just overly needy. He does not like us being
He's
busy
not
at
getting it.
all. No,
Pissy.
well, the last couple nights he got a ton of attention. He got presents and all kinds of shit. So that's just kind of get to deal with this tonight. I mean, we'll take off of here in a few minutes, anyways, and go cater to his needs.
Sweet boy.
I do got to see. Let's see here. Let's see what Mama Red reacted to here. That was a good toddler. Yeah, she found my pipe in the ceiling and stuff like that. So
What would make you hide it in the
She
acoustic
said I would
tiles?
always lie and
Come on.
blame my friends. I would. It's not
I did.
mine.
I threw my
That's the
friends under the
move.
bus.
That's the move.
That's the move. It's somebody else's. Blame somebody
Somebody's
else.
got it. Yeah. Somebody was wearing my jacket. This is not my pipe.
He just needs to go put up on the bed. Oh shit. He does this, man. He screams and cries. He's
And as soon as you get off the air, he's like, I'm good.
yeah,
Let's go to
most
bed.
of the time. Most of the time. Well, his thing right now is it's more of a routine where he has to get water, get food, go outside,
Dance around.
get more water, and then go to bed. And he does this 3 or 4 times, and then he'll get out of bed. He'll come and get water.
You hear he's not crying now that Becca's over there paying attention to him.
She's once she puts him up in the bed, he's gonna be done. He's just gonna sit there. He's gonna lick
cranky.
himself. He's gonna lick his foot. He's gonna lick his butt, and he's just gonna be fine. Now he's just kind of kicking it in bed. He's totally cool.
Until he thinks we're eating something and he jumps down.
Then until he thinks he doesn't necessarily have to hear us. He'll smell it, dude. He pulls a smell out of nowhere.
He
Like,
can't
you
hear
can't
too
hear
well,
it.
but his
You
nose
You
can't
works
can't
still.
hear. That's
Can't hear
true.
shit. He can hear us say presence though. He's more selective than anything. He's learned the art of ignoring is what it is. Said presents and Christmas yesterday, and he says, "Oh, okay, let me go eat some presents," and he did.
You've said it
That's-
3 times now. I'm waiting for him to appear or whine or
I know,
something.
dude. Yeah, seriously, you probably will hear me.
We could do like the Pee-wee's Playhouse where they had like the magic word of the
Goodness.
day and everybody goes, ah.
Yeah, he said he's
John
got
B,
us
Mecca like
trained.
a
He
high,
does.
Mecca hiney ho.
He has us
Mecca like a
trained.
high,
Yeah.
Mecca Johnny ho.
He
Man,
goes
I can-
downstairs and he barks to let us when he wants to go outside.
Somebody knows what I'm talking about.
Then he comes in and looks at his food bowl. He's got a routine. Very
Yeah,
particular.
he really is. He's a personality for sure. He's a
Total
good pup,
goof.
man.
He's so goofy.
Yeah, he's been with me for a long time. I would say he saved my life, man. I don't know. I've told the story on this probably 20 episodes ago or something. So
What episode is this anyway?
31 or 32. I'm calling it
Wow.
31 because I
like those
messed
late
up
starts.
a couple dozen episodes ago, you know, and I forgot to change the settings, or I just like redid the settings and I forgot to change the number.
Oh, well, you skipped 24.
Is that, yeah,
But
it
you
was like
did
one
two
of the-
23s.
I did two 23s, so that's what it is. I labeled one, you know, so maybe it is, maybe we are still on 31 and we're actually on. So
One of my favorite late
Mercy.
sessions or whatever is still that, or whatever, that little cut we did where you told the story of DOG and then we spliced it over to that wasn't the whole story, and then we did the half-baked scene with Killer the dog.
oh
It's
yeah,
still one of my
dude.
favorite little cuts from back
I
in the
love
day.
that cut. Some of that stuff's so funny, dude. He's talking about those stories. He's been a good dog, man, most of his life, besides the fact that he is an overprotective pit bull. You know, he's a dangerous weapon. I've always had to treat him that way. But at the same time, when I moved out on my own, I moved, you know, a half hour, almost an hour away from all my family, from anybody I know, really. And into a foreign area that doesn't have the best safety record, you know, downtown Ipsy. A lot of people are always like, oh, is it safe in Ipsy? I mean, I live on the outskirts of Ipsy, right? And like, yes, there are shootings in Ipsy. Yes, they're like,
Not where you're
Dude,
at though.
there would be guns shot off in the parking lot of the place I worked. Yes. I mean, I'm used to it though. I grew up in suburban Detroit, not suburban Detroit, urban Detroit, suburban, Metro Detroit area. And I spent a lot of my youth downtown and running amok in like the West Side, getting weed out of neighborhoods that I shouldn't have been driving around in and stuff like that. And not just that, but like getting gas, going to a Coney, you know, you go down to like Gratiot and like, you know, deep east side or something, go to a Coney and just wait around for somebody to answer a phone call or something, you know, just
Old times.
so you know, moving down here wasn't that much, but I moved into an area that's a little more rural, but I'm right on the edge of basically like the downtown Ypsilanti area. So having DOG around has always just made me feel better. I didn't realize how safe my neighborhood actually is until I lived here for a few years. So the first couple of years, you know, I slept with one eye open, man. You know, having those same
lived
like
where you lived before, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Growing up, you know, like where I grew up was also it wasn't that bad. Like I kind of grew up close to like the Westland Mall area, but I was more on like the Livonia side of Westland, which is a very middle class side of town. You go a little bit further south and like we were all in the same school district and everything. And there is, you know, lower income housing, Section 8 housing and things like that, all in the same city, where you don't really get that in when you start getting into the north neighborhoods, you know. So my neighborhood was much more middle class, and I went to school with a lot of people who were on more assisted programs and things like that. So I really experienced a lot of that, and in that is kind of, I think, where I was exposed more to cannabis and stuff like that, whereas the kids in the northern neighborhoods were more exposed to things like cocaine and opioids. The opioid thing wasn't really heavy and prominent in my side of town. That stuff was expensive, you know what I mean? Later on, it got really bad with opioids, and then it really is a big mess in that side of town. The pill scene is really, really bad. Westland Inkster got really, really bad with got hit really, really hard with the opioid epidemic. And then similarly, the northern neighborhoods, you know, Livonia and like Northville and stuff like that, they started getting hit with it too, but in different form, you know, cocaine and stuff like that. It was almost like a different parallel, you know, from going to school at John Glenn, where a lot of the kids smoked, you know, they smoked weed or they'd party and like drink alcohol and stuff like that. Maybe I saw somebody like pull out a bag of mushrooms at one time, but I don't even think we're in high school anymore. I think it was like after high school, just around people I went to high school with. But a lot of the people that I would, go out and like party with at Churchill and stuff, they were sneaking off, and there's a lot more cocaine use and stuff like that. Which is one of the northern neighborhood like cities. A little bit of different parallels, and definitely part of what I'd put together as being like demographic lines, different areas.
It's wild the variances in the city, and like listening you talk about that, because I would consider like where you're at the more nicer side of town.
So would
like,
I.
Where I grew up actually was on the other side of town there in like Lake Point Apartments, or like it's actually called like Crack Towers now. It's pretty bad.
Really? Yeah.
West Willow area. So yeah, I would consider that more the, I guess, rougher side. I'd always feel safe over there where you're at.
Yeah, and I do too now. Now that I like it's much more rural where I'm at, and I think that's why. The population is just not as high. I mean, the crime's everywhere, but it's in correlation with population, is my thing. The more people you have in a smaller density of, an area, the likelihood is just going to be higher for crime. There's crime everywhere.
Just never forget that criminals have cars too. So it's not necessarily where you live. Sometimes that can mark you out too. Like, hey, all the money's over on this side of town. That's where
that shit would make me. That shit would parent. I only worked 3 miles from home, and I worked, and I was like managing a restaurant. I'd throw people out of the restaurant, and they didn't like that. I've had people tell me they're going to wait for me after work. all kinds of stuff. Tons of threats, dude. Tons of threats. I had cops up that place so many times. I'd go home. I'd drive around. I'd take the long way home many a times, making sure nobody's following me. I've been followed. I've been followed in Westland, not in my area out here, but I've been followed in Westland. I've been followed home a few times. That shit's no joke, man. And you're getting followed when you go around the block a couple of times and the car's still behind you. That's when you know you're getting followed. I've been followed probably 3 or 4 times in Westland. I don't know why the fuck happened.
If you know you're being followed and you can't shake them, don't take them back to your house.
Nope. I almost got to my house.
Stop
one time.
your car
all the way around.
Else.
It was a point where I had realized I went in the short path, and they kept going. They were behind me, and I realized that it was the same truck that was behind me. That was in front of me. They had a little green thing on their taillight, a little green thing by their license plate, a little green LED on their license plate, and they were in front of me. I wasn't tailing them. I wasn't doing anything, nothing like that. Me and a buddy were just leaving Meyer. They were in front of us in the Meyer parking lot. My road veered off, and theirs went straight. And at one point, a couple miles back down the road, there's a truck behind me. I turn off to go down my street, and I look in my rearview mirror, and I see this little green LED. And I realize, hey, that truck was in front of us, way the fuck back by Meyer. And all of a sudden, on the other side of my subdivision, I see headlights coming towards me on the other way. And all of a sudden, they pull over and they park on the side of the road. This time, I'm close to my house. Fortunately, there's a cul-de-sac. I go around the cul-de-sac, head out the other way. The car that pulled over had came in through the other side, came back and got behind me again. What the fuck? Now they're back on the road. I thought they were parked. Now I knew they were following me. So I turn out, I go dip them, go through a couple other subdivisions, do this and that. They come behind me again. At one point, I pulled over. Fortunately, I'm in an older car. I'm able to shut off my headlights, keep the car running. Me and my buddy, we duck back for a second. The car goes by. I see a hand go, them, point out the window. What the fuck? A little 2-door Focus. I gun it, spin around real quick, take off out of there. And they're in a big ass F-150, so they had to like back up and turn around. I hit the side street, gun it, hit the main road, go back the other way. By this time, I get back into another subdivision, zigzag, and park it. We sit there and just sit there with the car off.
They never showed up?
No, we lost them. As soon as we hit the main road, I gunned it and we lost them. That little Focus at the time was nice.
She was like younger then.
It was like 2007, 2008. Here's the
Nice,
weird
man. I would have
thing.
been throwing
Scary.
shit out the window at him.
So I saw them. I ran into a dude I used to play hockey with at the Meyer. Just randomly ran into him. And me and my buddy probably smelled like weed. I don't think I gave up any information to this dude. I wasn't selling weed. I don't think I was talking about selling weed or anything like that. Nothing conspicuous or anything. The only thing I could think of is that they just wanted to jump us, or just, maybe it was some old hockey hate or some shit like that. Never any bad blood though. At least none that I know of, right? I mean,
Maybe they were trying to smoke a joint with you.
Possibly.
No one's gonna try that hard.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They had the dank and they
Back in
knew.
the day.
And back in the day, everything was illegal. So
I've
Well,
definitely
what
spent
is
probably
this?
an 8-hour
What
day
I
getting a
think is-
gram of
I
weed
had the
before back in the
focus.
day.
I had my car, so it was 2007, 2008. It was probably, it was like brand new, man. It was like brand new. So it was like
brand
2000,
new, man.
like summer of 2007. Yeah, it was super bizarre. I lost him though, dished out on that one. Another time I got followed. I don't know what I'm trying to do. Another time I got followed was when it was after either prom or no, it wasn't a prom. It was like a dance, and I was taking my date home and a couple of our friends, her friends, my friends. We all went to high school together, and she was living at the time with her girlfriend. Or no, she wasn't. She was living with her grandma or something like that on the other side of town. We're in Southwest Land, close to the border of Wayne, so like Wayne Westland area. Drop them off, and I noticed this. Well, at first I noticed this car behind us for a while back. When I drop off our friends, I noticed that this car had kind of parked. Whatever. When I back out and I pull out, I noticed this car kind of turned around and got back behind us. Okay, whatever. And I noticed we get down around her side of town, which is only a few blocks away, but on the other side of a main road, and some stuff. Car's still behind us. All right, well, I skip going, dropping her off, go past her street and stuff like that, turn around, get back to the main road. At this point, I'm gonna head towards the police station. I'm not gonna just go park in the fucking police station parking. I'm not gonna fucking deal with this shit. So I get in. Now I'm going down. This car's fucking behind me and doing whatever. So I get in the left lane, right? In the center lane. And this car is a little bit, go for it, dude. This car's a little bit behind me, whatever. And I'm in the center lane. This car's in the right lane, fortunately. Well, we get up to a part where I know I can turn off to the right, but I'm in the center lane. So I slam the brakes. This car keeps going a little bit, and then I bust behind and I turn down the street. Fuck. There's a parking lot. This car pulls right into this parking lot, busts through, and comes back around, and then jumps behind me again, while I'm down the street. So then I had to wiggle and giggle out of this thing. I actually ended up getting out before it got out of that parking lot. I took off. I saw it go into that parking lot, and I took the fuck off down one of these side streets. And I know the neighborhoods. I'm a toker, and I used to always take those neighborhoods, man. Those neighborhoods around my old high school and shit like that.
Street bumping. That's what that is, man.
I know all the neighborhoods, and I took off. I know all the little, dead ends and how to avoid them and what streets are dark and shit like that. So I evaded that one. Well, I don't know why the fuck people want to follow, dude. I don't know what it is. Never ever had any bad blood, and nobody was trying to fight me in school. Nothing like that. Yeah, dude. And that's what I think it was, man. I just think that like they smelled weed or something. I never had a sound system in my car. Nothing like that. I think that somebody want to rip you off for that. I had window tint, stuff like that. Maybe people thought I had stuff on me.
Nah. I mean,
my cars,
man.
They were broken into a few times. Hard area, dude. Yeah, man. My car definitely got broken in Wayne Westland area.
How many CDs or cassettes have you had stolen?
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took
the
my
Westland
whole
Mall
collection,
parking
man.
lot. Yeah. I think this
Really
girl
messed
had her
up keeping them
purse
all in one
stolen out of
place
my
back in
car.
the day, didn't we?
What's that, Abolish?
Made it convenient.
Yeah, we really messed up storing our CDs back in the day in the old
Yeah, right in the
slipcases and
visor.
whatnot, you know? Just
Right in
making
the
it super
visor right
easy
there.
to take like years
Just grab
and
the whole
years of
case.
music and yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Gone.
Yeah, 300 right in the
Hey
back
man,
seat.
back in the day when I first was driving, it was still cassette players. I made sure because I had one of those rickety ass tape players that was kind of funny. Sometimes would eat tapes and shit, so I always made sure to make a copy of that. Christmas back in the day, old folks, you know that you asked for and or received or used your Christmas money to buy blank cassette tapes so that you could record shit off the radio, make mixtapes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, good.
I got lucky enough to catch cassette tapes.
Welcome to the late
we might not be able to
sesh.
shut
I'm
this down.
Skilbo
I closed down my
Panel is
browser,
assembled.
so this might be interesting.
Panels all assembled. We're ready.
Are we here?
Whoops.
Is everybody in? Is
Red
everybody
leather,
in?
yellow leather. Wait a minute. Red leash, yellow
Yep.
leash.
We are under alien attack.
All hail Voltron. No, what's his name?
Where'd
What do
he
you always
go?
call for?
I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
sure.
Zoltan.
Zold.
Say live.
No. It's funny.
Oh, see, Robert knows those Maxwell cassettes were the good ones. The 120 minutes, man. Those were like thinner, and those were the ones more apt to be eaten, I found.
I think we're back. I don't know if we ever went offline. Nobody said anything.
No,
They're
Still
still
here, chat?
riding.
we're live. The problem is I'm not on the back end anymore, so I can't close down the stream.
Oh man, 24 hour.
It's going to be a marathon here. Hey, you know
How
what?
do you
I'll just
fix
do you
that?
like we
I'm
did
going to
old
the
man
edit
Herman
stream.
Hash. We're just going to bail on you and just leave you stranded
Mhm.
here. Throw back to the old content.
That would be so terrible.
Oh, that was one of the very first things we ever made a short of, like a clip.
Yeah, very first blooper.
Yeah, like the chat's gone, right? I accidentally closed the browser out. I don't know what I was doing.
I think it was my fault.
You started messing. Becca started touching browsers, and so I closed something.
Something got excited.
Yeah, and
Now we're stuck here forever.
yeah.
Got overzealous with the clickings.
Mm.
No,
See,
I
look,
was
all
trying
these
to help, and then he like clicked away too fast, and I did.
Good night,
Apple
Daddy Red.
Q.
She did some Apple Q stuff, whatever that
My
is.
apologies to Mama Red, Daddy.
You
Red.
end there.
I'm sure I could end the Zoom and it would end. I don't know if it'll save though. If it'll save
Yeah.
the video.
I'm super interested that it didn't shut down the stream with your web page down. It must,
Click
when
on
you
that.
fire it up on
Yeah.
Zoom, it must be stuck on until you kill it.
The only thing I can do is click the link that actually takes me to the broadcast, and we're still live. We're going. We're rolling.
should
Good night,
s-
Daddy
yeah.
Red. I can get chat, so at least
Good night, John
we can
Boy.
at least
Good
pop
night,
out
Mary
chat.
Ellen.
I can at least see. Maybe someone's gonna tell
Good
me
night,
what to do
Grandpa.
here. Chat.
Make sure you're in live chat then.
I am stoned.
Lost my thing here. So how do I get back?
Baby, come back.
Copy link with video.
Been
Like
smoking a lot
maybe I
of
could just
GMO.
I bet if I just like go live, it'll just be there.
If you go live, there'll be holy shit,
If
there'll
you-
be like a quantum thing, and there'll be 2 streams, and there'll be 4 of us, and there'll be doppelgangers, but then
That's
we
kinda
won't know
what-
which one's the real ones. And it's like Bizarro World. Maybe over there I have a green cap on and a black
Save.
coat.
Yeah, it won't even let me
If Red would click, we'd find out.
show
We're
more.
waiting with bated breath. I want to meet my fellow Bizarro World brethren.
I wonder if I grow with salts in the other realm or the other world.
Maybe you might hit create. Go live. I'm gonna create something new and see if this.
Delta 9, shout out.
Oh,
Says, reminds me
hey
of the
guys,
first
I
late
found it.
sessions. Way, welcome
Popped
back.
up. Haha. All right.
Is
Crisis
everybody
diverted.
in?
We
Is
have the
everybody
ability
in?
to end
The ceremony
stream
is
now.
about to begin.
We can continue.
Let's get some taco.
Yeah, no, we lost everybody. We're gonna probably slow this down at this point. You guys have anything else for us this evening? We didn't really talk too much about plants as medicine. We
Good
we just
time. No,
talked
we
about
started off
DMT,
on the
which
right vein, and
which
then we
I
sort
of
like. Yeah, I'm cool. With
segued
that.
off.
I like the DMT conversation.
Chat does not seem the least bit upset by our meanderings.
Ah, very good. It's just they're used to it by now, anyways.
Cheers, chat.
Perfect. I do want to talk a little bit next week. Yeah,
Next week.
foreshadow
Okay.
the show. You know, I made a soup. I made a soup.
Lentil
I do
soup?
want to talk about my soup, man. I do want to talk about the soup. A little bit about plants and medicine. We'll just close the show with some soup, okay? Make you guys some soup. This is why. You
Voodoo soup.
boil down. No, you don't want to say boil, right? More like extract, okay? You extract all your vegetables. And Daddy Red left just before the soup talk. Daddy Red loves to talk about soup, man. Daddy Red will eat soup. I talk about soup. Daddy Red likes to talk about making soup. I like to talk about like what's going on with the soup, because you're getting beta carotene from carrots. You're getting all your celery and your onions and all your vitamins and your minerals and everything that normally you would eat, and you would have to process this stuff. Okay. And you gotta, in order to digest it. But if you extract it all into the water, at least all of the water soluble minerals, terpenes, and everything else that you're getting out of your fruits and vegetables, they're going to absorb into your body much faster and much more effectively. So you're going to get a better rate of digestion and everything. You're going to get better rates of absorption of all your minerals that otherwise you may pass through, right? You might not absorb some minerals if you eat, you don't chew food enough and stuff like that. Think of corn, right? Corn just comes out whole pretty much sometimes. You got to mull that stuff up, right? Hey, man, it's the conversation we're having, but sometimes
back to poop terps again, aren't we?
Hey, so, but that's it, man. You got to mull up your food, and sometimes you just crush it up, put it in a soup, make some good soup. You get everything bioavailable. It becomes more bioavailable that way. We talk about the bioavailability in our plants when we're growing.
Pro tip is you can also, if you're one of those people that just hates fucking vegetables, you can also run your stuff through a food processor when you're done, or a blender. Pour your soup in there and blend it.
Juicer. There's juicers this is where juicers become so important, is because you can cram like a pound of spinach, right? And
for $746. YouTube could own a juicer.
And do a little couple $100. Yeah, they're not cheap, man. They're not cheap. They're a couple $100. But you could juice your cannabis leaves. John Kohler is somebody who I follow, Growing Your Greens with John Kohler, and he jumps into his videos like, hey, this is John Kohler, growingyourgreens.com. I'm sure everybody who's
he's the happy-go-lucky
farmed
guy.
Any vegetables and learned how to do it is watch one of those dudes' videos, man. And he's gotten into cannabis.
He grows cannabis too,
and he talks about it a lot. And he juices his cannabis, flowers, and a lot of leaves and stuff. And he drinks. He doesn't really get high. He talks about how he doesn't like to get high. I think his parents watch the videos.
Did you add mushroom powder to your soups as well?
Did.
It's a good time to sneak those in as well.
I sure did. So a couple of mushroom powders. I did I had a little about
radishes,
a few tablespoons, maybe a quarter cup of or quarter half cup of my Myriad mycology mix. Okay, and the Myriad mycology is the supplier, but the blend was lion's mane, reishi, and cordyceps. It was the performance blend specifically from it. I was finally down to the last bit. I haven't had any in a while, so I dumped that in there. I had still like probably 2/3 of a pound of agarikon powder. So I did a nice heaping tablespoon. We'll call it 3.
I think that made it taste really good.
Yeah, it's got a great.
It's got a very umami,
really darkens
flavor.
It. Yeah, with a hint of like
earthiness,
cacao. Almost.
We added it to like turkey spaghetti with sauce.
Turkey spaghetti. You were wrong already on 2 accounts in that first.
Yeah, we use a ground turkey instead of ground beef. So and so let's see here. Okay, well let's start fresh. The basics, right? Carrots, onions, some potatoes, and the potatoes that I sourced were the little round purple potatoes, specifically for the anthocyanins. Okay, the anthocyanins.
I haven't gotten to say that in a very long time.
High in antioxidants. So purple cannabis is loaded with this anthocyanin. Toss some of those purple buds in the soup next time. I didn't do it this time, but maybe next time. Does anybody cook edibles with stock? I was thinking about this, man. Stock is high in fat, right? Beef stock.
It doesn't necessarily.
Pork stock.
Shouldn't be. You should always try to drain that shit off. And
there's no fat in it. I was thinking it was fat. using it to, I was thinking it would be high in fat. It was if you like were making a soup and you were using chicken stock, if you just put a couple grams of wheat in there, I feel like it would bond to some fats in there.
There's that lucky dip, right? When you get that spoonful.
Yeah. What if there was
Who gets the magic spoon?
What if you
We are
get,
not sponsored by Magic Spoon.
If you could sprinkle in some just a little bit of collagen or something like that in there, it might toughen it up or something. Not toughen it up, but give
A
something.
bit of hooves is what you're talking about.
A bit of hooves, yeah. Something for it to bond to. I'm not
Mm.
sure. I'm thinking of something fatty. Maybe a little fat. Just blend up a little animal fat, put it in your soup. Put a bone in there.
Now that's the unlucky dip there if you get the bone.
Get the bone. Daddy Red used to always put we did the ham, right? We did the spiral cut ham, and then he'd use the ham bone and make some split pea soup, the ham bone.
Yeah, man. That or bean
Delicious.
soup.
Yeah, bean soup. Yeah, bean soup. The let's see here. You got carrots and this is the potatoes. Like almost a whole clove of garlic, ton of garlic, chopped up nice and chunky garlic. Let's see here. I just basic herbs, right? A little bit of rosemary. Oh, the rosemary we actually got from an apothecary. So we had some nice, we didn't harvest our rosemary this. I'm sure we could still go out there and harvest some rosemary and probably be just fine still this part of year. The ground's barely frozen. But we had sourced some rosemary, tossed in some thyme, tossed in some moringa. We sourced some moringa. Moringa is like 10 times high in what kind of vitamins? Like vitamin C,
I can't remember.
E, like
IOU.
the whole alphabet. And so like we tossed in some moringa, tossed in the agarikon, yes, and a couple types of mushrooms, and we also sourced some
medicated gravy.
That would have been a great idea, actually. That would have been awesome. Even just tossing a little bit of RSO probably would have been smart. But just full shiitakes. Like we had whole shiitakes, chopped them up, tossed in some shiitakes, and I think that was it. I think that's about it. Made the soup. Oh, toss in some whole peppercorn. Boom, boom, boom. Beta caryophyllene. Got to get that stuff in there. And of course, ground a lot of pepper in it. And then I like the pink Himalayan salt. I like to use that. From what I hear, it's got good mineral base in it.
Almost looked like he was going to tell us a spooky story when he was changing his lights around. Go back through that cycle again.
Yeah, what you got about
like, am I seeing
campfire
this right?
stories?
I'm still not sure why that does that. Like I said, it's a
you didn't do that.
light.
You didn't do that.
No, it just does
just has
that.
a mind of her own.
Yeah, it plugs into the socket, and that's all it does.
Does anybody remember that shit when they used to say in the year 2000?
How long
You do put the flashlights in there.
Yeah, dude.
That old Conan. Yeah.
I speak probably on behalf of like 90% of the chat.
You have to be on the video version. I apologize if you're only trimming and listening, but I leprechaun.
Look up, Isaiah. Look up.
Like my ears. All right, guys. Book of the week, real fast before we get out of here.
He said it 20 minutes ago. Before we get out,
I'm starving after that food.
I know.
Me too. Terpenes for well-being, a comprehensive guide to understanding.
Give me a random page.
The botanical aromas for emotions and physical
so we can
self-care.
Like understand what the page is.
Andrew Friedman, a random page. We've got some text. Okay. We've got some
just read us the dark, bolded text.
Benefits of aromatherapy. Aromatherapy has an extensive array of benefits, including pain management, alleviating inflammation, improving sleep quality, reducing stress, agitation, and anxiety, soothing sore joints, treating migraines and other headaches, alleviating the side effects of chemotherapy, fighting microbes of bacterial, viral, and fungal origin, improving digestion, boosting immunity. And then this talks about aromatherapy having potential to treat many conditions. Even though the research is still ongoing, they include asthma, depression, fatigue, insomnia, alopecia. I'm not sure what that is, but
alopecia.
Alopecia, sorry. And then in each one of those, it gives a little blurb about what it might be. It does talk about monoterpenes,
escoterpenes. That sounded like a pharmaceutical commercial to me right there.
Yeah, dude,
you have a good voice for reading books.
Becca got this. I've actually been looking into.
Is it aloe?
audiobook
No.
recordings.
I don't know. It
What
looks
is
like
that?
cannabis
I
kind
think
of.
there's some cannabis in there. It's a cannabis grower that actually wrote the book. Somebody who's a grower for 10 years.
Oh, look at this.
It might be subjective in some stances, but like he grew up in a
Mushrooms, our
household
friend
surrounded by
oncology.
aromatherapy education and stuff like that. So he kind of talks about his background a little bit and where he gets a lot of his information from. 20,000 plus some terpenes, a couple hundred in the plant of cannabis. So
Or
they're
more.
everywhere. And what are terpenes? Aromatic fragrances, essential oils in the plant.
I mean, think about it. Each new chance of a crossing could be a new chance for the creation of a new terpene, you would think.
Totally
Or to be able
possible, man.
to put another one of those terpenes from that list over onto the cannabis side. You said 200. Maybe we can make it
We
201,
talk about natural
207,
selection and adaptation. Every new grow environment is a opportunity to create a new stress defense for the plant to create
to
a
express
new terpene.
expression.
Yeah, mutate. All I have to do is mutate, man, and boom, that's how creation occurs. I mean, I shouldn't say that. That seems almost sacrilegious, but you know, there's a divinity
sacrilegious,
to
as in like delicious, because we're talking about those
that. Delicious, so delicious.
sacrilegious.
Yeah, like not to say that like it's not being, you know, tuned. I find I look at it as like fine tuning, right? It's fine tuning of creation, you know. Yeah, evolution very well could exist within the realms of like a divine entity or something like that. Evolution could just be fine tuning. Evolution could be the science beyond what was originally created.
Beyond
The
the
original
veil.
creation was this was the creation, boom, and then everything beyond that is physics, you know.
Big Bang terps.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Big bang
Or all of
terps.
us, or we're all just continuously creating as we're going, you know. It's the
butt funk
vibration is
terps.
so strong, you know, and you believe those butt funk terps long enough, you yourself will grow the butt funk terps, you know. Just you create it, man. You get it, you blend it, you mold it. I don't want to finish off on butt funk terps. Did I show this off?
That was the other show.
That was the other show. Good. To all
Shout
of our
out
deadheads
to-
out there, shout out to Natalie, Bradford, Art, Astro Charlie, and we got
shout
this
out
from
to-
Natalie
to-
specifically, but
Shout out to Becca.
I believe that they collab a lot. Shout out to
gifter.
Becca right there for
It's a
hooking this up to
Christmas
me.
gift.
This was a Christmas
Exactly.
gift.
Where are you going to put it
that
at?
book
Ray?
is Becca's. She got that for Christmas from family. Say that
You
again.
gonna frame that? And
Oh
hang it up?
yeah, dude. Yeah. It's in a little piece of cardboard. It's a little thick, but it's actually not through the cardboard. It's through cardstock. So it's nice.
Brad, you got to
and
get
thin.
that
Careful with
Dead and
it.
Company poster framed and up, man.
Oh yeah.
The thing is
so
too
I
dope, and you have a black light. You just got to
have
get
that
it together, man.
one. Oh, yeah, I only have that one. I want to put that one up. I really wish it was an old school ticket stub, man. Yeah, I got one off from a couple years ago with the ticket stub, and I actually have the two Wrigley shows with I think a ticket stub.
The
That's
canceled
gonna be a
one.
fun. That's gonna be a fun one. And then I got Billy Strings released some posters. One of which was the tour poster for the 2021, and because we went and caught that Fillmore show, and Kazoo actually has night 2 of a poster that I hope to bump
Different
into him
graphics.
one of these days. Yeah, it's the back of the van. Night 1 is the graphic is a van pulled up, you know, on like a cliff or something like that.
It's cool.
The front
idea.
of it's
Yeah.
the front, the one poster. Night 1 is the front of the van. Night 2 is the back of the van. It's really really cool screenshot. You know, I was thinking about doing like a whole on framing of that and getting like all 3 of them actually professionally framed up with
A triptych.
with the tour poster and the other 2. Yeah, it looked really good.
Right on.
Yeah, man. I don't know, dude. Pipe dreams, you know. One day to have one of those
I
musical
began to
rooms
think in
and-
terms of pipe dreams once I became like a more seasoned smoker and became more philosophical. I realized the overlap between pipe dreams and pipe dreams. You know what I mean? Take a nice dope.
Yes.
Those
yes.
thoughts in between those hits.
Yes.
Those
Yeah,
may be
That's
your
usually,
very own pipe
usually what it
dreams.
is. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
man.
Bounce. What's that?
I said I just have pipette dreams now.
Pipette.
Pet.
Puppet.
Puppet.
The
Puppet.
puppet.
As in like a puppet. Master of
Weird.
puppets.
Ah, the puppet.
That's
Master of pups
Master.
pulling strings.
Master
Oh,
of
no,
puppets.
We're gonna get flagged for that.
We're gonna get flagged for my horrible
Lars
rendition.
is gonna come down hard on us for that one.
Dude,
Dude.
they're gonna charge you like $873 for that moment in time.
Dude. Oh, dude. So
Alcoholica rides again.
Alcoholica. That's a different type of a group, man. I'm telling you. No, I would love to go to Metallica. I like Metallica. I used to listen to all kinds of Metallica. I just feel like the crowd would be a different type of a vibe than what I typically get along with. That's all. You know, not to say that people who are into Metallica I wouldn't get along with them. It's just like,
I mean, they're soccer moms. And, you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
not like
exactly.
these are
the
ruffians.
I really just wouldn't get
the ne'er-do-wells, the cut purses, the
Yeah,
rapscallions.
I like them other than some stances they've taken recently, but yeah, good band.
Yeah, great band, dude. Great band.
I am of the mind that anything after Injustice for All is trash. Sorry.
I did buy them all. You know, I got all those. Like, I got all the CDs. I got the original, like on the original 8. You know, I got Garage Band when it came out. I was really into
Days
Garage Days. Yeah, I was really into it, dude. All the covers and stuff. And I stopped from there, dude. I didn't get anything further than that. But I got like
Saint Anger, I think it was called, or some shit.
Yeah,
Loaded was my first CD.
Loaded
or whatever. Load. It was just
load and reload. Load and reload.
Calling for Kill 'Em All. Yeah.
So Skilbo. So Black
Master.
Album comes after Injustice for All, right?
Yeah, man. That's when they just changed their sound up too much for me.
Yep. So it goes Black Album, then Load and Reload, and then anything before the Black Album is what I like to.
Like Orion or
Master of Puppets.
Sanitarium was a great song.
That was on Master of Puppets, right?
Sanitarium, I thought was on Ride the Lightning.
Ride the Lightning.
Maybe it's not. Somebody knows better than me, I'm sure.
Puppet. Oh yeah, those are his first 3, right? Those are Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Injustice for All. There's one more before that. What was the one before that? It's the first album. First album's not Master of Puppets. First album's something different.
The Metal Up Your Ass or something like that. Or is that an Anthrax album? One of them.
Might be Anthrax. I feel like they had something before Master of Puppets, though. I could be wrong. Maybe that was just some garage tape.
Well, you know some Anthrax.
Probably not off the top of my head.
Dennis has a good point. Downhill after they cut their hair.
Which would have been
the Black Album. Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
And Justice. And before. Good night, Delta 9. No Cliff Burton. No. Cliff Burton died before their first album, I think. I think they had music that he had written, but I don't know if he performed on the first one. Seek and Destroy. Fuck. There you go.
For all.
Ride the Lightning. Okay. Mega Force. I can't remember.
Saying Injustice for All is the first album. That might be right. Maybe it's Injustice for All.
Yeah, Kill 'Em All Masters.
Kill 'Em All. That's what it was. It was Kill 'Em All. That's number 1.
Thank you, Hillbilly.
And it's Master of Puppets.
No, actually, Elite said it first, but I'm zoned. I'm just kind of rolling with the chat. Listening I don't even have live chat up.
I'm in top chat. So
epic fail. F in the chat for Red.
Chat. All right, it's about 1 a.m. You guys got any last
food?
Shout outs for you guys. Let's get out of here and grab some food. Everybody's got
tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the late stash over on the Michigan Bros Grow Show channel. We'd love to see you there. It'll be myself and Red and Becca and Spartan and Sequence and Painted Lady. And if you didn't get a chance, go back and catch the replay on the Bro Show Live we did this evening at 9 p.m.
Yeah, cheers. Please butt chug responsibly. It's including your psychedelics, evidently.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're
man.
Main dripping, boofing your DMT.
Wicking.
A main dripping. I like that.
Wicking.
Any other shout outs?
I like that version of saying that.
Of
wicking.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's good shit, pal.
If only wicking would have caught on and not butt chugging.
If only wicking would have caught on. We got a nice little lavender. She got a little lavender pot, and it's actually like a pot in a pot, and the pot floats, and it has like a little wick that goes down into the thing. So I'd be interested to try a wick style with cannabis. See how that works out. Or anything real, rather just a larger scale than a single pot. I think it'd be cool to see that like in like a 3x3 pot or something. But anyway, no more rabbit holes. That's
No more
another-
ramble. Come on,
Another ramble.
Robert
Good night,
Plant.
everybody.
Good night.
Appreciate you all tuning in this evening. Please be responsible. And if you do DMT, setting, test your stuff, please. Make sure there's nothing, no foreign substances or anything like that in there. Hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful holiday
Don't forget to hit the
season.
thumbs up for Red.
Month of
and
fucking
Becca.
December is almost over, guys. And
The
it will be
year is
new
almost
year.
over, brother.
The year is almost
You're
over,
getting ready to
guys.
start all over again.
Week.
New year 2022, and just stay safe out there, everybody. It is a crazy time of year. Fortunately, the madness and all of the shopping sprees are coming to an end, and we're gonna all get through this just fine. Yeah, medicate responsibly, everybody. Have a great night. Appreciate you all. Cheers.